Welcome back to the Crypto channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Chainlink is running into the next important Fibonacci level on the price chart, while Ethereum is still playing out this bearish divergence in the shorter term, while Solana is now breaking to the downside on this Solana chart. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment, alongside Cardano is currently rejecting from this major area of resistance. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, taking a look at the weekly Ethereum chart, and right now the price of ETH is still in a larger bull market, but still running into that major point of resistance at approximately 4.1k, which if we're taking a look at the 3-day time frame here, once again, we're still looking bullish on the larger time frames, but running into that important resistance. And if we're looking at the daily time frame, that resistance is really an area in between around 3.9k to 4.1k. So as I've been saying since before we even enter that area, expect the price to struggle a lot in that exact price range, and that's exactly what we've seen as expected. But once the price of ETH can eventually break out above around 4.1k, ideally with confirmation, so at least a daily candle close, but ideally a weekly candle close above 4.1k, then in that case, the next major price target is basically the all-time high, sitting at just underneath $5,000, or really a price range in between around 4.7k to 4.9k. That area will likely find a decent amount of resistance in that price range once we break out above 4.1k. And so overall, we're still looking bullish in terms of the larger trend and momentum on the larger time frames. It's just at the moment, we're running into that short-term point of resistance, causing the price to struggle in the short term. And on top of that, we still have this bearish divergence, which is technically still active on the daily Ethereum chart, with higher highs still confirmed in the price and lower highs still confirmed in the daily Ethereum RSI. So this just tells us that we're likely going to see a bit of a short-term cool-off from all of that bullish momentum. And that's exactly what we've seen over the last 1 week, approximately 1 to 2 weeks. And so as I've been saying, just in the short term, be patient, because we're basically in a bit of a sideways price range, chopping around between support and resistance, because like I just said, we have that area of resistance causing the price to struggle, but we also have this area of support still sitting in between around 34.30 to 35.60. So the price is bouncing from that area and rejecting from this resistance. So just bouncing around sideways in the short term here during a larger bullish market. And so overall, not a lot has changed for Ethereum over the last 1 day. So getting straight into Chainlink, and if we're looking at the weekly Chainlink chart, right now the price of Chainlink is getting extremely close to that next major Fibonacci level on the weekly time frame, sitting at roughly around $31, around $31.50 approximately. And as of recording this video, the price of Chainlink is indeed above $30, so just underneath that $31 level. So like I've said in recent videos here on the channel, expect a lot of resistance at give or take around $31 to $34 based on this Fibonacci level of resistance, and also these previous highs sitting close towards around $34. And so essentially around the low $30 price range, we have a decent amount of resistance right there, which once again means we're likely going to see the price struggle in that area on the price chart. But once we can eventually see a confirmed breakout above, ideally $34 with candle closes above $34, then in that case, the next major price target is essentially the all-time high at around $53. So around $50 to $53 will likely find some resistance there as well. And so overall, on the larger timeframes, I'm still very much bullish on the price of Chainlink. As I've been saying here on the channel, since much lower prices, since below $20, I'm still very much bullish on these larger timeframes, especially because we're also playing out that massive cup and handle pattern, which I've talked about in recent videos here on the channel. And so if you're new to the channel and you want to know more about that massive bullish cup and handle pattern, which is now playing out, then simply just check out some of my recent altcoin videos here on the channel, because over the last few days, I've been talking about it basically every day. And this is my trading strategy for the price of Chainlink to the upside, essentially just trading this swing trade, this massive bullish move to the upside, which I've been sharing transparently here on the channel since much lower prices. And in case you're wondering, personally, I've been taking a lot of my trades right now over on BTNX. So I'll make sure to leave a link to BTNX below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here, which is an exclusive deposit bonus that you can only only claim using that link. So if you simply just click that link to make your account and deposit $100 worth of crypto and start trading, you get a $20 bonus. Or if you deposit just 500 USDT and start trading, you get a $100 bonus. Or if you deposit just 1,000 USDT and start trading on your BTNX account, if you use that link, you get a $200 bonus. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, or if you want to get set up ready to go to take the next trading opportunity, definitely make sure to check this out. Once again, first link below this video. And also, in case you're wondering, BTNX is a no KYC exchange, which means you can access it from basically any country in the world without needing any KYC. But with that being said, if you don't want BTNX for whatever reason, there's also Bybit as another exchange out there that I also trade on. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link, you can claim a 500 USDT position airdrop. So basically a free $500 trade as your first trade over on Bybit, but that's only available if you use the link below this video to make your Bybit account and deposit on that account. But with that being said, getting back into Chainlink, and like I just said earlier, we're looking very bullish on the larger timeframes. I'm still very much bullish on the larger market right now, the bull market. It's just we do have a bit of resistance in the shorter term to pay attention to, so just be aware of that. And also, if we're zooming into the short term, looking at the 4-hour time frame, right now we're possibly seeing a breakout in the 4-hour Chainlink RSI. And so, of course, this is good news, because if we confirm this breakout, which as of recording this video, this breakout is not yet confirmed, but if we confirm this breakout with a candle close on the 4-hour time frame with the RSI above this line of resistance, but ideally above a previous high in the RSI, then that would invalidate this bearish divergence, essentially telling us that the bearish divergence is no longer playing out. And obviously, as we can see here, this short-term bearish divergence already played out over the last couple of days or so, and usually a bearish divergence just on the 4-hour time frame plays out over just a couple of days before it starts losing relevance. And as I always say, the most common outcomes from a bearish divergence are either a short-term pullback or just some choppy sideways price action, consolidating sideways, so essentially lacking bullish momentum for the next 1 or 2 days if we're on the 4-hour time frame. And so this was, of course, one of the most common outcomes that we saw from a bearish divergence. And so if this breakout in the RSI confirms to invalidate this bearish divergence, and at the same time, if we can see a breakout ideally above $34 in the price action with confirmation, then in that case, we can start flipping much more bullish again in the shorter term after seeing this little break during the larger bull market. And like I said earlier, the next major price target is sitting at roughly around $50 as a major point of resistance around that all-time high level once we can see a breakout above this area. But with that being said, taking a look at Solana on the 3-day time frame, and right now Solana is still clearly lacking bullish momentum in the short term, but technically speaking, we've not fully invalidated the larger bullish trend, forming higher lows and higher highs. But a key area on the price chart is in between around $200 to $210, because as I've explained recently here on the channel, if the price of Solana breaks back below around $200 with confirmation, so for example, a 3-day candle close back below $200, then in that case, we'll be breaking back into this sideways price range back down here, which will be bearish price structure. Because obviously we were in that sideways price range for quite a long time, as we could see from around March this year all the way up until around November, just more recently. And so if the price starts going backwards here and breaks back into that previous sideways price range at these lower levels, then of course that'll be bearish price structure. That'll be bad news in the short to midterm, talking about a matter of days, weeks, potentially even up to a couple of months. And so that area on the price chart in between around $200 to $210 is definitely a crucial area of support to pay attention to. And if we're zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 8-hour time frame, it's clear that Solana is still trending in the bearish direction in the short term. As I've been saying for a while now on the channel, we're clearly forming lower highs and lower lows in the short term, which is bearish price structure, a bearish trend. And if we're taking a look at this 8-hour time frame, we've just broken back below this short-term level of support right here, which was sitting at around $222, give or take. And so the next level of support to watch out for, we could find some support at around $215 based on this low and this low right here. But below $215, we have this level of support at around $205. So like I said earlier, really that price range in between around $200 to $210 acting as major support. And before I would flip much more bullish again on Solana in the short term, I'd first like to see at the very least a breakout above this level right here, this resistance sitting at around $232 with confirmation. But ideally, I'd like to see a breakout back above around $246, which is a critical level of resistance. And for now, that's been acting as very strong resistance, keeping the price down. And so until we see confirmed breakouts with candle closes above these important levels of resistance on the price chart, we cannot really flip bullish again at all on Solana. Right now, I'm still bearish in the short term, as I've been saying for a while. And even if we break out back above 232 and 246, of course, we also have very strong resistance at around $260 as well. But with that being said, taking a look at the Solana Bitcoin chart. This is Solana versus Bitcoin on the 3-day time frame. And so in case you're new to all of this, instead of looking at the Solana price priced in US dollars, we're looking at Solana priced in Bitcoin, which means if this chart is going to the upside, Solana is outperforming Bitcoin. But if this chart is going to the downside, then Solana is underperforming Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is basically doing better right now than what Solana is doing. And so, as always, not financial advice, but how this chart would work in practical terms. Essentially, it would make more sense to hold Solana over Bitcoin if you're bullish on this chart, but it would make more sense to hold Bitcoin over Solana if you're bearish on this chart. That's essentially how this works. And we can see on the 3-day Solana Bitcoin chart, we have this massive horizontal triangle pattern, also known as a symmetrical triangle pattern. And we've just recently broken below a key level of support, which was this level right here, as we can see. And we've seen a couple of candle closes now below that level of support, confirming the break to the downside. And so with this being on the 3-day time frame, this is bad news for the Solana Bitcoin chart on this 3-day time frame, talking about potentially a matter of weeks, maybe even months, because this is a relatively large time frame. And if we're measuring out a technical price target for this break to the downside, now that we've technically confirmed the break to the downside from this triangle pattern right here, from where we are right now as of recording this video on the Solana Bitcoin chart to that price target, that's still more than a 20% move to the downside. And so, for example, how the price would actually get there on this chart right here, let's just say if the Bitcoin price did not move at all, if the Bitcoin price in US dollar terms stayed at the same level and the Solana price in US dollar terms dumped 20%, then it would get down here. Or on the other hand, if the Solana price in US dollar terms did not move at all, if it just stayed at around the same price level, while Bitcoin went on to pump around 20% to the upside, then this chart would move down here. Or, of course, a likely scenario could be a combination of both of those things happening. So a slight pullback happening in Solana at the same time as a pump happening in Bitcoin, which can cause a larger crash in the Solana Bitcoin chart. And so just be aware of this playing out right now. Once again, it's very likely, at least in the short to midterm, Solana could be underperforming Bitcoin here for potentially a matter of weeks. But of course, like I say, for most charts, it's unlikely it'll just move there in a straight line without any bounces along the way. So keep in mind, we can have the occasional little bounce, even if the price is within more of a bearish trend. And so that just means there might be some days here and there where Solana might be doing a little bit better than what Bitcoin is doing on that day, but that might be just an occasional event happening over the next few weeks or over the next month or so, whereas on most days, Solana might not be doing as good as what Bitcoin is doing. But with that being said, if we're taking a look at the Cardano US dollar chart on the weekly time frame, because Cardano is still one of the top suggested altcoins in the comment section below these videos. So looking at Cardano once again on the weekly time frame, and right now Cardano is rejecting from this important golden pocket area of resistance, sitting in between around $1.13 to $1.23 approximately. And so based on this golden pocket area of resistance, and also based on previous resistance in the price of Cardano, we obviously have a lot of resistance in that price range, which I've been sharing and warning about here on the channel since before the price even made it into that price range. But once we can eventually see a confirmed breakout, ideally with a weekly candle close above $1.23, then in that case, the next short-term level of resistance is sitting at around $1.45 based on these previous highs. But above that level, we have this 78.6% Fibonacci level of resistance sitting at around $1.76. But obviously between now and then, we have strong resistance at this golden pocket that we still need to pay attention to. And as for support, we have a lot of support right down here based on previous resistance flipping into new support at this 50% retracement level, and that's sitting at roughly around 82 to 83 cents. And if we're zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 12-hour time frame for Cardano, technically speaking, this bearish divergence is still actively playing out right now, because as of right now, we've not yet seen any breakout here in the RSI or in the price. And so, as always, a bearish divergence means we're losing a lot of bullish momentum in the short term, and that we're most likely going to see either a bit of a pullback or at the very least just some choppy sideways price action in the short term. And with this being on the 12-hour time frame, usually this plays out over around a week or two. And from when this actually confirms, this most recent bearish divergence here, from when that confirms to right now, it's been close to 2 weeks, so it might still play out for perhaps another few days or so. But ultimately, it only really comes to an end once we actually confirm an invalidation, like, for example, a breakout in the RSI above this line of resistance, but ideally breaking out into new higher highs in the RSI. That would be a strong invalidation signal. But for now, we have not seen that, which means the bearish divergence is technically still active, as the price is trading just underneath a major point of resistance. And so these two factors playing out right now for the price of Cardano are telling me that right now I would not be entering into any new long positions, especially any high leverage long positions or buying significant amount of Cardano. I would not be doing that right now, at least personally. Of course, do what you want to do, but right now this bearish divergence is playing out while the price is trading underneath a massive area of resistance. And so before even thinking about looking for a new long position or buying more Cardano, for example, I'd first like to see either a continued pullback here and then let's just say bounce from a point of support, or once we can eventually confirm a breakout above this golden pocket and invalidate this bearish divergence, at that point, that could possibly be another buy signal to watch out for. But for now, in the current situation, I would not be buying a significant amount of Cardano. And as for short-term support to pay attention to, we do have a bit of support right around here at around 98 cents. And below that, we have some important short-term support where we have bounced from twice right now, and that's sitting at pretty much exactly 90 cents. And below that, we have more support at around 76 to 77 cents. But once again, if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, simply check out those links down below this video if you want to claim those extra bonuses over on those exchanges. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, you can profit from all of that price action by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.